All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Schoolscape online webinar. The purpose of these webinars is to help you as a school during what is an incredibly tricky time. So generally, we're about helping your school go online, but this webinar is in fact about helping take your school go back. Government, we know, and the Department of Basic Education is debating when schools go back, what they need. And what we want to do is get ahead of that and introduce you to some incredible companies that have products that can take you back safely to school when your pupils arrive, and more importantly, also when your staff arrive. So welcome. On your right, you will see there's a chat functionality. So you are welcome to say hello there. Thanks for all of those that have already said hello. There's also a questions tab. If you have any questions, please pop them in there. I will try where possible to intro or pass those questions across to the speakers while they're talking. Ladies and gentlemen, we also just want to say this is the first time we've ever had 5 different companies on one webinar. So please bear with us if it is technically, if we have an odd little shake, but I expect it should go off quite seamlessly. So I'm going to stop talking. First up, we have Ryan Martin from Syntech, and Ryan is going to be showcasing a couple of different products for us. So Ryan, it is fantastic to have you online with us. Over to you.
Cool. Thanks, Pete. Hello to the schools and to everyone. Thanks for taking the time. I'll try to be as brief as possible. So I'm the founder of Syntech. It's a distribution business which is 18 years old. We employ about 90 people in South Africa and then have a team in China as well. So our core business is sourcing and distributing electronics and accessories. And over the last couple of months, we've seen this epidemic unfold in China and thought it was necessary for us to get involved. So essentially, we've done a lot of work in terms of sourcing reliable products and equipment from China, bringing it in and holding it in our 2 warehouses locally. And we've pivoted our business to be able to get these products to market as quickly as possible in a simple, reliable manner. So what we felt was the most effective way to do this is to set up a microsite called medical.syntech.co.za, and Pete will put that up on the site. We've set up all of the products, and a traditional sales channel that we would have used would have gone through all of our retailers and our resellers. We supply to most of the electronics and computer companies that you will be familiar with, but wanted to make these products accessible to the market. So in essence, it's an entire, the infrastructure that we've got in place is helped us to jump straight into these products. And currently we have about 3.5 million face masks in stock, weekly shipments of thermometers, and I'll go over those 2 products quickly. So Pete's just popped up one of the products, which is an infrared non-contact thermal thermometer. And to be honest, I wish I had one of these when I was a kid, because I was terrified of telling my mom that I was sick in case she tried to stick a needle or a thermometer in my throat or under my arm or other funny places. So
I remember that clearly.
So this is a really cool product. Basically, it's a handheld gun that doesn't need any contact. It can be held away from the forehead and be used at any entrance to control and to test the temperatures of everybody who's coming in. There's a LCD on the back which gives you a reading within a couple of seconds, and it's very, very accurate. The devices are calibrated. It's medical grade, and it is calibrated at factory when it leaves. And then within a second of pushing the button, it'll give you a reading on the LCD. If it's fine and the temperature's within an acceptable range, it'll be green. If there's a risk, it'll be orange, and if there's a high temperature, it'll be red. So you can quickly identify anybody who has temperature and potentially exclude them from coming into the office.
Brilliant.
Or into the school.
Sorry, Ryan, just a quick question. What is a price point, if you can help just our viewers understand?
Sure. So there's a retail price point on this product of 1,500 Rand per unit. We also have a dedicated team. Our entire sales team is available to assist if you have any quotes, queries, or any information that you need. And we are able to assist with bulk pricing if any of the schools have a requirement for more than 10. So that's absolutely valuable. We'll share our details on the chats as well. And one thing worthwhile mentioning is that we have put together a Schoolscape coupon for all the schools that are participating in this webinar. So there's a 10% discount for the entire month of May for anybody who wants to take advantage of any of these products. Then I want to just jump in, and you'll have to excuse me, I don't have many products to show you, but I thought it would be worthwhile to just demystify the mask and what all the different types of masks that are on the market, and there's so many people trying to sell them. Which ones do you need and what's the best? And the simple answer is there's just no one great mask. There's no perfect mask. There are obviously cloth masks, which government has made a mandatory requirement for anybody who's walking around or going to schools. And I think it's really fantastic because any mask is better than none whatsoever. But it is important to note the differences between all of them. And I want to take a minute or two just to go through and differentiate so that you can make an informed decision for your schools. The first thing is that cloth masks are really great because they're reusable. You can wash them, and they're very cost effective in terms of getting them out to everybody that needs them. The challenge is that not all cloth masks are made from the same material, and depending on what material they're made from, they may or may not have the effective requirement or be as effective as we would like them to be. So it's important that they're made well with 3 layers and are made from good quality material. On our website, we've put some information about the different materials and their effectiveness in preventing microns from breathing in. The other thing to remember is that masks, the cloth masks, if they are not water repellent, will start to absorb moisture as people breathe. And for extended periods of time, that moisture can very easily ultimately result in a bacterial infection if they're not washed and kept very hygienic. So it's very important that people understand that they should be used effectively and they should be washed every single day. We are investigating a couple of options for antibacterial cloth masks, but at this point we've found nothing that we're 100% satisfied with. Then a lot of you would have heard about N5 respirators. The alternatives are FFP2, which is a European standard, and KN95, which is a Chinese standard. They are great. They really prevent 95% of all the microns that people breathe in, but they are very uncomfortable and very difficult to breathe in. So you can't use them all day. And a lot of people don't know this, but they actually can only be used for 1 day at a time. So once they have been used, a maximum of 1 day, they must be thrown away because the mask collects any viruses and bacteria, and that becomes a health hazard down the line. So they're expensive, they're difficult to wear, and if you are going to be using N95 masks, I would suggest that you only give them to the nurse or the person that is dealing with any sick or infected children. But probably worthwhile having a box on the school premises just in case you do come into contact with somebody who is infected.
Sorry.
Then there's surgical masks.
Ryan, just so you're aware, you've got 1 minute left.
Sure. Last minute. The differentiation between surgical masks and 3-ply, they look very similar. The surgical masks are the ones that are water repellent and are used by medical professionals during surgery. They are the ones that we really want to prevent for healthcare workers from or consumers. Healthcare workers. We've reserved any stock of surgicals for our healthcare clients. The non-medical 3-plies, in my opinion, are still the best solution because they are CE certified and a standard globally. So they are disposable, they're easy to fit, and they should be thrown away every single day. We're giving them to every single person that comes into our office as a requirement. Even if they've got their own mask, we just want to make sure that they have a clean, healthy 3-ply. Those are also available on our website at a price of 600 Rand for a box of 50. And obviously your 10% discount can be applied to that as well. That's me. Thank you very much,
That's
guys.
absolutely amazing. So just to remind everyone, that Syntech is offering a 10% discount for the month of May. So Ryan, if you could just put that coupon code just into the chat functionality, and with them you can buy the hand thermometers, masks. They actually have medical.syntech has all of the equipment that a school would need. And Ryan, thank you for joining us. Thank you also for giving a 10% discount. That is absolutely amazing. I'm going to ask our next speaker to come on. So Rob Haynes, can you please jump on? But Ryan, thank you. I think a 10% discount, especially for schools and education at the moment, will go a long way. So we really appreciate you being online with us. Cheers, Ryan.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we are promising to keep short and to the point. So that's why we're doing high impact. Oh, and we have lost Rob somewhere along the line, and he's back. Rob, welcome back. Rob is from Steel Cut Spirits. Rob, thank you for being online with us.
Cool, thanks. Thank you, Pete. Thank you very much for having me. Hello to everyone. I'm just getting my notes aside here that I don't forget anything important to say. Let me a quick intro into who I am. My name is Rob Haynes. I'm the founder of Tiny Keg Canning and Steel Cut Spirits, but Steel Cut Spirits is my main focus and employer, so that's my day job. Some quick background, if that's worth anything. I'll try to be as quick as I can. Most of my life I've been involved in retail, aside from a stint as a housemaster and basketball coach in England, and also a very poor cricket coach. I left Fairview to study further and then start League of Beers, which was then formed part of Yuppie Chef when they acquired League of Beers and me. The focus of my work with Steel Cut Spirits is making and selling great quality gin, wine, and beer to big retailers like Macro, Pick n Pay, and Checkers. And we tend to particularly put attention to customizing solutions for each retailer. So like the Macro gin baubles, it's also under the Sugarbird brand. So the Macro gin baubles, the Checkers crackers, and the Pick n Pay gin advent calendar that some of you might have seen. I'm also working on, I'm new to dealing with schools. I did go to a school, but I'm working on ensuring that our solutions for schools are as fit to your needs as possible. So we figured out what we think will make sense, different type of packaging sizes and refill options and bulk options and ways that you can get as much bang for your buck as possible.
Sorry, Rob, can I just to clarify, we're not talking about gin anymore. We are talking about sanitizer now. Is that correct?
Hand sanitizer. There they are. Yeah, so we're now talking about hand sanitizer. So if you want gin, in level 3, we can organize gin as well, but the focus is sanitizer. It was just that key point that feedback can help us to tailor better products to your needs and questions. Our strategy for 2020 was to move into bigger market categories, but never did we dream that we would turn our gin making skills into sanitizer production. It turns out it's almost the same thing. Not the same thing, don't drink sanitizer, but it's actually very similar. So the distillation skills that we'd acquired became very useful. I'll just show you briefly the products I've got in hand, try to get the lighting right. So this is the 330 ml. So we do sizes from sachets, 5 ml sachets, to 60 mls, to 330 mls, to 5 liters, to 25 liters, even 1,000 liter flow bins, all come in different sizes. But the two most popular ones are this kiddies one with instructions for kiddies. Like, for instance, the kiddies one is don't rub in your eyes, things like that, and kind of give visuals of how to use it. And then there's the main adult one here. Pete, if you could pull that PDF onto the screen. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was referring to. 60 ml, 330 ml, 5 liter, 25 liter. We also have the 1,000 liter flow bin and the 5 ml sachets. So just to tell you about the liquid. So the liquid across all of them is the same thing, right? So you'll find the kiddies one, we use different colors and different, and people don't consume it even more. But it's one effective liquid that we use across all of them. And there's a few key things that are quite important with it, is that it's naturally, thanks Pete, is that it's naturally distilled, and it's a plant-based alcohol. Most sanitizers are petrochemicals, which is not as good and would contain harmful solvents. So this is a naturally distilled plant-based alcohol. It is basically high-strength gin with certain other agents that make it better for your hands, better for moisturizing, and prevent you from drinking it. So there's bittering agents. It's gentle on the hands. It has also long-lasting protection. So you'll find a lot of sanitizers, whether gel or liquid, you pour it on and it comes off quite easily, and it doesn't feel like you've got anything after a while, whereas we've got ingredients inside that make it dwell on the hand, which gives it a bit of a funny feeling, but that funny feeling means that you're protected for longer. And our ingredients very high efficacy and ensure a wide range of bacterial, fungal, and viral elimination. My partner actually happens to be has a biology doctorate, and he was a bit fanatical about producing the best and most effective, safest possible sanitizer. Perhaps too fanatical, but at least it helps our product to stand out during a time when there are a lot of people trying their hands at distillation and kind of jumping in and out of a bandwagon, whereas we see this as a kind of we see it as a definite long-term move for our business, because it's just, we can add more value. The products, so reusability is an important factor, and recycling. We use PET, which is a recyclable type of plastic. So this is highly recyclable, and we work with all the big governing bodies to ensure that PET gets recycled. But reuse is better than recycling. And so the offer that we are putting together for schools is buy your first sanitizer, whether it's a 500, 330, or 60 ml, perhaps get a free mask as part of the deal, because we also have access to masks. And then we'll give you discounts. So the top-ups when you order by 5 litre or 25 litre, or for huge schools by 1,000 litre, we've got special drums that have got pouring mechanisms, and we're giving bottom possible pricing on those. So we're just basically making this razor's edge of a margin so that we can ensure that all the schools have the sanitizer.
Sorry, Rob, you ask a quick question on that. So essentially, could a school take a big 1,000 litre drum, have it at the school, and then each classroom and child could have their own small one that they could then, essentially a teacher or someone could top up from, because then it makes it a lot more affordable?
Thank you for clarifying that. That's exactly what the idea is. The 25 litre drums and the 1,000 litres are at, as I say, pretty much the cost it takes to make them. And the point of that is so that you can have bulk and just refill the whole time. So you're not paying for packaging and reusing packaging the whole time, which is detrimental to the environment. And most of the cost of most products we buy actually is in packaging.
Yes.
So
Rob, we've got 1 more minute left, just so you are aware.
Cool. All right. For quotes for your first order or for refill, please mail rob@steelcutspirits.com. I'll put that into the chat group, or tammy@steelcutspirits.com. And I really, the idea behind this offer is to tailor it towards schools, but I stand to learn a lot from your insights. So anybody can help or has suggestions of what they would like, what would be better for their school, I'm very open to that. And in closing, thank you for listening. Please send requests. We love tailoring towards customers' needs. Cheers.
Okay, brilliant. Rob, if you can stay there, I have invited Afia on stage. Afia, please jump on. But while he is coming on, Rob, so if a school wants a quote, I know we had one question coming in asking for a 25 litre one, so they can just literally send you an email and you will then send back options, pricings, quotes, etc. Is that correct?
Completely spot on.
Awesome. Rob,
Great.
Thank you. Afia, we just lost you again.
Should I just go
Afia,
repeat the whole thing, Pete?
Fine. Rob, thank you so much. I think you guys have got an incredibly high quality product that is well thought out from an environmental side as well and a health side. So thank you, Rob. Afia, welcome. It's our pleasure to have Afia with us. We, from School Advisor side, have dealt with Afia quite a bit. They have worked on a lot of projects with schools, and we've recommended them. I know they recently finished a project with Hurleyvale, which was great. So, Afia, it's good to have you online with us. Over to you.
Thanks, Pete. Can you guys hear me good?
Yes.
Perfect. Hello, guys. Thank you for affording us the opportunity. Just before we get into the actual product that we have started manufacturing, just a point I want to have a facility actually sporting facilities. That is our passion. The joy I get from manufacturing or constructing or supplying, sport-specific facilities is immense, and that's actually what we want to be doing. But I mean, we can't do that at the moment, unfortunately, and we don't know when we will actually be able to get back to constructing sporting facilities, and schools will have budgets for said projects. So we thought, what can we do in the meanwhile that gets us back to what we want to be doing more quicker, more effectively? And we started developing this misting tunnel or sanitizing booth, or whatever you want to call it. They've got a million names, What I want the guys to understand is we're not reinventing the wheel here. We're not starting afresh. This has been done before. We've used our skills that we've built up in experience constructing sport facilities with steel structures and netting and whatnot and all of that jazz, and applied it to this concept to try and better it. What I want the clients to understand is we really want to get back to doing what we're good at. And this will help us get there. And this is why we are pursuing this avenue. I can say with full confidence that our product is structurally sound, mechanically sound, electronically sound. What we've done is in developing this product, especially on the nitty-gritty side, the electronics, the nozzles and whatnot, we've tried to use products that are already readily available. So all our electronics is supplied from ACDC, which is a countrywide company. Any electrician with a little bit of know-how will be able to feel that popped on just there, very fancy, goodness. What any electrician with a bit of skill will be able to sort out our electronics. Obviously, we're going to supply nationwide, and we're based in Pretoria, so we can't necessarily end up in Stellenbosch within a day or two. So we've tried to make it sort of universally understandable. For instance, our infrared sensors or sensors when you step into the sanitation chamber is a Gemini product, the same guys who do electronic gates. So I mean, again, a product that's readily available. Just spec-wise, in terms of our actual product, all of it's either aluminium or galvanized steel. So the structure is aluminium tubing, 25 millimeters, and then we've got galvanized sheet metal that makes up the sort of dome or cover or whatever you want to call it. We've got a pretty standard 0.37 kilowatt, 220 volt water pump on there. Also, what I want clients to understand, this product is continuously evolving. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you guys, there's no regulations, there's no guidelines, no one's come and given us a recipe. There's no Afrikaans. What's the recipe? I'd say a recipe. There we go. Thank you. No one's given us a recipe how to do. So we're continuously evolving, trying to make it better, trying to make it work better. Like for instance, the picture that Peter just put up with the new tank. We've sold about 20 to 25 units as it stands now, probably a bit more since this morning. We've developed the second, let's call it version 2.0, exactly the same body, just a bigger tank. Our previous tank was 75 liters. This tank is now 260 liters, so it can run for longer. As you can see, we've also tried to keep it as neat as possible. Obviously, it has to look like something. It can't be an ugly thing. But we've tried to keep it functionally practical, relatively easy to transport. When it gets to site, i.e., it's sort of a plug-and-play system. The only thing that the client has to do is bleed the motor, which is extremely easy. You just screw out the screw, let the sanitizer or whatever come through and close it. What I do want to hammer on a little bit is we manufacture the applicator, the actual system that applies the sanitizer or disinfectant or whatever you want to call it. We are not skilled or knowledgeable on the actual sanitizing products or the disinfectant products. I can tell you that you cannot put any alcohol-based products in this thing. Obviously, we're misting a product. So if you put something in that's flammable and you're misting it, it's going to be more flammable. So I want to hammer on that. It has to be an eco-friendly, non-alcohol or ethanol-based products. There's a massive amount of knowledge out there. I've did some reading, and it's just too much. Yes.
Just one thing, we see one or two people are having problems with sound. If your internet connectivity is low, it will drop visual and then just play audio. But what you can do is watch the replay and download it and get everything. So our apology if anyone is having a problem. So, and then Afia, back to you. Afia, sorry, just two questions. So one is, just so I can also understand, this will be set up in front of a school and pupils and teachers will literally be sanitized and then go into the school. And if you could just confirm on that. And then secondly, also then just please finish about the sanitizers and where they can get from.
Okay. So again, no rules here. We don't know. So in a perfect world, yes, you'll put this outside a school or outside a big sporting event or whatever the case may be. People will step inside the chamber and get sanitized or disinfected or step out. We've also got the tunnel available. You might have seen, I mean, look, Peter, a lot of guys are building this product. We've tried to do it better and more functional and more, what's betrouwbaar in Engels?
Yeah.
Trustable, what do you call it? Dependable. It has to be dependable. It has to do its job. And we might be a bit more expensive than the guy next to us, but it has to be able to do its job. So we, for instance, on the nozzles, we've only done brass nozzles and brass cases, no plastic products, to ensure the product is dependable and it does its work. So yeah, you'll put it in front of a school. The reason why I'm not marketing the tunnel today is we found with the various tests that we've done that the wind is a definitive factor when it comes to the tunnels. It sort of blows away some of the disinfectant or sanitizer, which should be or could be an issue. So we prefer the chamber, stepping into the chamber, not losing a lot of misting as it was, and then stepping out, and the next guy goes in. You at this stage, we're running at bursts about 3 to 4 seconds, which uses about 4 milliliters of disinfectant per second. So the 260 liter tank should keep you quite a while. In terms of what you can put into the tank, that's a difficult one, Pete. Like I said, trust is everything. We work with schools a lot. We've built a lot of sporting facilities for schools. It's very important for us. I cannot, with an open heart, advise on what to put in that thing. We are doing a lot of reading and a lot of research of what products should be best. But like I said, no alcohol-based stuff. We will sort of try and comply a list of suppliers that we trust that will supply the right product. We're not there yet. We're also finishing our official specs this afternoon. So we'll get all the marketing out there, but all the clients I made this beautiful design. Wait, it's the wrong way around.
Right.
Well, I hope
we can see it the right way. Afia, that's brilliant.
I can't see it the right. Okay, so that's just my email address, my telephone number, my name. Obviously, Anneke and Peter and Ashley will have all the details available. Please don't hesitate to contact us. Pricing-wise, obviously, it is fixed, but it's not fixed. People are going through tough times. Let's have a talk. Let's try and get these out there. Like I said, I believe in this product. I trust this product. I trust that this is going to get us back to doing what we actually want to do and what we're actually good at. So if we can get this.
Are there any options for, and we've got 30 seconds, are there any options of financing for your products?
Look, at this stage, from our end, no. Look, we are a relatively small company. I'm sure we can organize with outsourcing, but that'll complicate it. We can maybe look at paying it off in a certain amount of months or whatever, but that will have to be discussed from client to client. In a perfect world, we'd like to supply the machine and obviously the guarantees that come with it. And it's a COD basis.
Awesome. Afia, thank you. What we will do for everyone is we will tomorrow send out a mailer that will include the basics on pricing. But I think, as Afia said, his heart and passion is to support and help schools. So I think you can talk to him, especially if you've got more than one entrance. If you need more than one of these, I think he can talk to you on price. I'm going to invite the team from Lamp House to come on just while they are coming on, so they can jump on. Afia, to get this set up, if a school is interested in one, how quickly can you get it to them?
Look, at this stage, Peter, our factory is not fully. It's pretty friendly. Okay, so we can get machines out now in a 5 to 10 day cycle. We've got machines coming out every single day. So we can just discuss it, but obviously that'll depend on when the guys order, how many they order, how many orders we have. But like I said, we're going to try and accommodate as best we possibly can, where we possibly can.
Awesome. Afia, thank you. We're now going to jump. Thank you. We'll send all your details to the schools. Please also put it in the chat functionality, but thanks for your picture. It's my pleasure now to intro the team from Lamp House. So Brett and Ross, thank you for joining us today. I have to admit, when we started looking at who we should invite, your flying saucer was the most intriguing thing we had seen, and I'm actually intrigued to find a bit more out about it. So over to you.
Thank you, Peter. Thanks for creating the platform for us all. Firstly, I definitely have a
Ross, muted yourself.
now?
You're back.
Okay.
Yes, you're back.
I just found out I have more of a face for radio than for TV, but we'll work past that. But anyway, yeah, just a bit of background as to who we are, Lamphouse. Some of you might be familiar with Brett, and we have a division within Lamphouse which does all the LED conversions for the schools and industry and commercial buildings. So we have presented at your various shows offering LED products. So you might recognize us from there. Today, though, we're talking about Lamphouse, and we are a specialized lighting company. So we've been around the block a few times. We're a 44-year-old company who specializes in all facets of lighting, whether it be film, television, shipping, navigation, medical, airfield, etc. Obviously now, under these testing and trying times, a product we've been supplying plenty of over the years, 25-year history of selling this product, is UVC lighting, antibacterial lighting. So we've been involved with supplying and maintaining all TB clinics, general clinics, hospitals, etc., with UVC sterilization lighting. We've also supplied into ambulances, use it for air sterilization, and dealing with the schools and investigating a little bit overseas. We find that the product that we're offering here today is something that would be more than useful in a school environment. So UVC in a nutshell just disinfects the air. It kills bacteria, proven to kill and delete the DNA and the RNA of the coronavirus, which is what we're all combating at the moment. So this particular unit is a simple unit to install. It pretty much goes in your entrance to your classroom or wherever your airflow would originate. And all air that passes through this unit will be sterilized. It has got its own fan system, so it sucks air in and pushes it out, and all the air that passes over the UVC lamps will be sterilized. I don't want to go into too many more technical details, but obviously we do have it all available should you have the question for that. But what Brett will discuss with you now going forwards is we understand, or it's fact that UVC isn't quite an expensive product, and we have recognized that, and we've come up with a plan of how we can finance this. So we have different finance models available, just to simplify it for you guys. So there is no CapEx requirement. There is no COD invoice coming your way. We'll facilitate the finance process for you, and we will take it from there. So we'll get involved with the installation. The Lamphouse is based in Joburg, Durban, Cape Town, and we've got a franchise in PE. So we are strong throughout the country. We can get to all corners if necessary, and we'll project manage the installation of these products. So there isn't really any management from the school side or anybody else. We'll take it from the beginning and we'll sign it off and give you a complete project at the end, which we'll hand over. So the finance side, Brett has simplified it nicely. Obviously, it's when you try and finance a car, there's a business model for that. If you finance your house, there's a finance model for that. Financing UVC is a little bit unheard of with your traditional banks. So we have got partners that we work with which are happy to finance UVC and the products that we offer. So I think, Brett, if you want to step up and just discuss the finance side of it.
Thanks, Ross. So what we've done is we treat this the same as what we would with an energy efficiency program. It's a project-based work. So step one really takes into consideration what your needs are of your specific schools. We would get a floor plan for you. We would make the recommendations to which units where it needs to be installed, and then give you a formal proposal with a breakdown of obviously the amount. So Ross has alluded to the fact that this is an expensive item if you haven't budgeted for it or if you've never even heard of it before. If you can see from the screen, you'll see per unit price installed is 8,100 Rand. Now, each one of these units cater for a 36 square meter. So we're looking at classrooms 6 meters by 6 meters. This unit will suffice 100%. On bigger areas, we just multiply the amount of units. So if you do look on the screen, you will see, based on the information and our technical experience with schools where we've done many installations with energy efficiency, we've sort of rounded it up that 40 units will be the key indicator per large schools. So if you have a look just at one unit, you will be able to see, we will put it on a rental. The rental works on a 48-month platform. So if you maybe traditionally think how you guys in the past finance a copier or a PBX unit or a CCTV unit where capital requirement is not required. This is on the same principle. So you'll notice if we go down to a simple outlook of 40 units, there is a cash price to it. We've got a monthly rental of 9,387. So what you're getting for that amount is you're getting 40 of these units. They will be installed for that. So you've got a professional service that comes out to you and does a needs analysis with you. We get the floor plan and we make the recommendations. So for 40 of these units, we're talking about 9,300 Rand, and what that then allows you, it's a 4-year product. It comes with replacement lamps, it comes with a backup service, and it comes with a full installation guarantee and warranty from our internal installers. So from the rental perspective, I think it's quite common knowledge. There's an application that goes through. You are then supplying information. That gets given through and on a case-to-case basis. It gets approved or declined, and we're then able to come in and install it in your school and maintain it to a degree.
Awesome. Gentlemen, thank you. I have to admit, it blows my mind to think you can put something on the roof that is a light and it can actually kill the virus that is airborne. That is phenomenal and space age to me. Gents, if I can ask, could you please share your details in the chat functionality on the right? There are also, I think there's a question that has come through, if you could respond to that. And then for all of the schools, we will include this information in a mailer that we send out tomorrow. So, gents, thank you. That is intriguing and amazing. And thank you for also working out an offer that makes it affordable for schools.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Devet, you are up. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on to the last company that I think has an incredibly practical, useful offering that really stood out to me, and that's why we have asked Devet from Senior Chef. Also, Senior Chef is a company that has been dealing with schools for a long time and has really been benefiting schools. So, Devet, welcome. I'm going to hand over straight to you.
Yes, good morning, Peter. Thanks a lot for the platform your company created for all the businesses this morning. First of all, like you mentioned, Senior Chef is doing school fundraising projects nationally with schools for the last 19 years. And obviously, due to the reason that schools is not open yet, we've come with a solution to distribute hand-free sanitizing stations to schools nationally. So this morning, I just quickly want to focus on the two main products. We've got the wall-mounted sanitizing station, and then we've got a freestanding sanitizing station. We also have 1 liter sanitizer that we can supply schools with a pump nozzle, and then we also have the 5 liters sanitizer that we can supply schools. So we are up and ready to supply any school nationally, and delivery is anything, so two weeks lead time, but we also in a position we want to ramp it up and make it a bit quicker, because we know a lot of schools want to try to get back into the classrooms as soon as possible, and we are here and try to take the hands and help to get as much as possible of this sanitizing stations out to the schools. Just to give you some, I'm quickly just going to show you first the product, and then we can just go into the detail of how we can how schools can benefit and how they can fund this sanitizing station. So obviously, I'm just going to show you first. It's just you've got a food paddle down here, and then obviously the pump nozzle up here. So it fit most bottles. So schools can either use recycled bottles, shampoo bottles, or whatever will fit them. Otherwise, we can supply them with these bottles as well. So just to give you quickly here, I'm going to stand up now. I'm going to put my foot on the foot pedal. I'm going to press down, and there the sanitizer is coming up. So the brilliant thing about this product is that children or teachers don't need to use their hands to put the sanitizer on their hands. So it's very, obviously, there's also benefits regarding that, and then we don't need to infect one another. And then we have also the wall-mounted one there at the back that you can put into your reception area. You can stay there, you can put it against the wall up, so you can't move that one around. And obviously the freestanding one you can move around. So obviously we have also the we come up with the idea for schools, and we all know it's quite difficult now with the financial situation all of us is in, and businesses as well, and especially schools and parents that obviously send their children to schools and need to pay school fees. So we come up where we want to give schools something back so they can go into the communities, distribute the marketing material to their parents, to businesses in their communities, and say, listen, here is a freestanding sanitizing stations. For each station, the school will give us an order from the community so they can get 10% back. So for instance, if the school is selling 10 of these units in the community, the school obviously pay one of the stands. The stands is going from 500 Rand for the wall mounted and starting at 600 for the freestanding. So that's the situation. If you get 10 stands out in your community and the school give us an order for 10 stands, then the school gets 10% commission on that sale. So we want to try and help schools to still raise the funds and to try and not pay for their own stands. So they rather go into the communities and ask businesses, ask parents. Even you can put one up, every home can put one up in the front entrance of your home. So it's a situation where we want to go back and say, listen, we know there's a lot of products out there and we want to try and help schools, but we also want to give something back to the schools that is on the moment, like a lot of struggling just to pay school fees. So we don't want to put extra burden on schools to pay for the stands. So that is one of the offerings we're giving to schools right now. And that's schools can make contact with us directly. We're here to help, and we want to take hands and see what we can do from our side that know the DNA of schools and the fundraising systems they use. And now a lot of that fundraising systems is falling away for the rest of the year because of the situation that all of us is in now. So we don't want to just go and give this stuff and say, listen, schools must pay, but they can take it into their communities and see if the communities can take hands, as all of us is doing right now, to see if they can get as much as possible of this stands in their school, because every classroom, in front of every classroom, in the reception areas, so etc. So even in businesses, so it's not only for schools but also for businesses. So that's from our side. Thanks.
Brilliant. David, one of the most practical things I've seen from, we've been thinking through how schools are going to handle front entrances as well as the different classrooms. And a sanitizer bottle is the one thing that can disappear super quickly. But I think if you have a mounted stand, and also I'm just thinking everyone's touching, have they cleaned their hands before they touched? This is just one of those super practical and I think very affordable. And I also think if a school puts one up in front of their school, you'll most probably find where parents drop off their kids, they'll go, oh, I want one. So at least the school can sell and offset some of the costs. So Devet, I know Senior Chef has been in the industry for quite a while, supporting and has raised a lot of money for schools. So thank you for coming up with an incredible product.
Thanks. Okay.
I want to ask, Devet, will you just pop your details into the chat functionality so that people can follow up with you? And then I'd appreciate that. So thank you so much. Cheers, Devet.
Thank you. Thanks, Peter. Thanks also. Yes, all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end. I know this week we wanted to include Desk Dividers, the company that is who we found that is a trusted company that can do it. They are still waiting for the specs from the education department on exactly what they need to be. So next week, we are going to do a follow-up webinar on this with further companies, and one of those will be the Desk Dividers. But I think today, from just the overall point of view, you've got the I want to say handgun, but that sounds bad. The thermometers that you can hold up. There are masks. A couple of these companies can do masks. We expect every learner will need a mask. Some of the learners might not bring or might forget at home, which means the school is going to need. You then have the walk-in cubicle where you can be sanitized. We've got different companies offering sanitizer. I know Steel Cut Spirits, they offered what seems to be quite a eco-friendly and a healthy option. And then obviously the lighting feature, that blew my mind. And then lastly with Senior Chef, just a very practical stand. So what we will do from our side is we will send you an email with all of the companies, their information, the products, and the pricing. Please then connect directly with them. All of the companies have said they are happy to give you quotes. Centec is also offering a 10% discount. So I know 10% on a 1,400 Rand thermometer makes a massive difference. So please check that out. We will email all of those details to you. You can watch the replay. You can share this with anyone you want. And next week, we will then hopefully have another 5 companies with some incredible products to show you. So thank you for joining us. Please contact us also if you have any questions. We will share our details. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.